friends, and welcome to our day one of our 12 Days of Christmas series. I'm so excited to begin this series with you guys, and today we're going to be talking about something that is my absolute favorite part of Christmas, which is gift giving. So I know that before my husband and I started Dave Ramsey, we would use our credit cards to pay for Christmas every year, and we would feel strapped and stressed and just totally overwhelmed by the season and by giving good gifts, right? But we really couldn't afford to give those gifts. So once we started Dave Ramsey and we began to put aside cash for Christmas, it totally changed our mindset as far as giving and what we were able to give and how we were able to give. So today I want to share with you guys 4 tips that I have and that we use each year to give Christmas gifts that are great, but also just focused on the season of giving. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay guys, so to get started with your Christmas budget, you need to set a budget, which is tip number 1. So set a budget and stick to it. Now, I honestly feel like this can be the hardest part of your Christmas budget as a whole, because really sticking to that budget is where things get a little bit sticky and a little tricky. But I encourage you to set your budget, and don't just set like an overall budget. Don't just say like, okay, we're gonna spend $500 on Christmas for our parents and our siblings and our nieces and nephews, and that's it, and we're done. Set a very specific budget. So have your overall number. So set your overall number, but then break that number down very, very specifically and very methodically. So for instance, for each category that you have, you want to break down what you're gonna spend for each person or each category. So what we do is we go through each different, basically, I don't know, category of gift that we're going to be giving. So we break down our parents, our siblings, our nieces and nephews, our work fund, and what else? We do like Christmas decor and all this stuff. So I'll kind of share with you guys what our budget is as well, and the different categories that we have in just a couple minutes. But the biggest thing to do here is to break it down in a way that makes sense for you, that you feel comfortable with, and that you really feel like you can stick to. Something that is generous enough to get like a good gift, but not so generous that you're buying someone like a $300 gift and then like, you know, your mom gets like a $2 gift, you know, something like that. So make sure that it's even and that it makes sense for your life and for the gifts that you want to be giving people. Now within this, and this is really where the hard things comes in, it's easy to want to give people more and above what your budget is. So you really have to go into this with a mindset that this is our budget, this is going to be great, and this is going to be something that they're going to love. So you have to really shop with purpose and not just look around for things that would like fill a need, but really things that are specific and that work in your budget and would complement that person and make sense for that person as a gift. Tip number 2 is to track every single purchase that you're making with your Christmas budget. So I mean, if you go out to the Dollar Tree and buy candy canes, track that. If you go and pick up, you know, a mug at TJ Maxx when you're shopping for like new sheets, write that down. You need to track every single purchase that you're making, and I encourage you to do this with an app on your phone because that's just the easiest. You can also do pen and paper if you carry like a planner or a little notebook with you at all times, but I personally have my phone on me all the time, and so it's easy to just write things down in my phone right in the moment when we're purchasing something as a gift for someone. So the app that I use is called Google Keep, and I'm gonna put a little like insert here for you guys to take a look at it. And this, what you're actually seeing is just our Christmas budget breakdown, but we do the same thing and we track our Christmas gifts that we're giving. So far we've only purchased 2 gifts, and so I have those in a separate document in this app, and I keep track of those. So each and every gift that we purchase will get a name, it will have the item that we purchased and the dollar amount, so that as we're going through we can make sure that we're reconciling that Christmas budget well and making sure that we're sticking within the budget. So it's so easy to pick up something for someone and then think like, oh, I think I have like about $10 left for that person, when really you probably only have $5 because of like tax and, you know, whatever else went into the purchase. So it's really important to track down each and every purchase so that those, you know, kind of onesie-twosie dollar amounts don't end up eating up your entire budget or making you go over. So tip number 3 that I have to share is to get creative. Now I know if you're not super crafty, this can be intimidating, but I would encourage you, even if you're not a crafty person, to find some ways that you can create something as a gift. I know for us, there are always those people that are kind of like fringe giving people, like where you have like your core group of people. For us, that's like our siblings and our parents and our nieces and nephews. But then there's like extraneous people that you want to give a gift to, but you're not really sure like what to give. So this is where being crafty comes in. You can purchase things and really make kind of a DIY gift that works for when people happen to come over, if you're, you know, doing something for Christmas and extra people come over, or if you just happen to think of someone off the cuff and you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna see them today, let me take them a little something. So a couple of ideas I have for things that are simple DIY things. These are things that my mom has done in the past. She's done like coffee creamer, like a Kahlua creamer. She's also done bath salts. What else? She's also done like, I think like it's some sort of like a body butter. So it's really nothing that's super complicated or really complex, but it's things that you can make quickly and easily in like a batch and then have those things to give out to people. Now the one thing I would caution you about is containers. They can be pretty pricey, so make sure that you shop around for good prices. If you're doing something like, you know, bath salt or like the creamer, my mom used a bunch of like reusable items. So like when she made the coffee creamer, at that time we were drinking a ton of kombucha, and so with every kombucha bottle that we would drink, she would just save it, wash it out really well, even a couple times maybe, make sure they were nice and dry and clean and not smelling like kombucha anymore, and then she would use that to put the creamer in and make a little label with some of those labels that you can just pick up at the Dollar Tree. So those are really simple gifts that you can create, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of a jump start and gives you some ideas for things that you can do that would be simple and really work well for gifts. Alright friends, and my final tip, which is tip number 4, is to not fall into the comparison trap. Now this is something that happens so easily, and it's something that we have to really fight against, especially during the holiday season, but it's really refusing to compare ourselves and our situations with other people. It's so easy to look at what people are giving one another and say, oh my gosh, I wish I could give someone that, or wow, I'd love to get that as a gift, or I would love to give this as a gift. But really you have to understand that you don't know the whole situation. You don't know how those people are paying for those items. You don't know how they're paying for that vacation that they're taking. You don't know any of that. So you have to just stick in the things that you can control, right? Control your controllables, which is you and your household and your Christmas budget, and be satisfied with what it is that you can do. One thing that I would encourage you, if you find yourself falling into this, is to set a plan for how to change your budget or adjust things for the following year. So for us, I already can feel like our budget is a little bit smaller than what we would like. So we're already planning on beefing it up considerably for next year, which is great because we'll be able to start doing so in January, and we'll have a set amount that we set aside every month to afford our cash Christmas. So that is the final tip, is to just not compare yourself to others, because really Christmas is about giving, but it's really about your heart. And so if your heart is in the right place, and if you are just loving to spend time with people and really cherishing the season and the people that you are, you know, so lucky to be around, then that is really what's most important. So I hope you guys have found these tips helpful. I would love to know how you keep your Christmas budget under control, so let me know in a comment down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. I'll talk to you tomorrow for day 2 of our 12 days of Christmas. You're okay. Okay, we're mad.